Hey guys, Jess here from Knockout Print Shop, and today I have a video for you on how to build a gratitude journaling habit. Okay, so I have notes here on my Inkwell Press grid paper because I tried to film this video just kind of off the cuff and I was just rambling way too long. So I need a little bit of guidance, and I figured I'd just show you my notes so you can follow along. Okay, so first things first, why am I making this video? We had an awesome customer in our Facebook group that brought up that she had a goal this year of daily gratitude. She wanted to build the habit of daily gratitude journaling and has yet to do it, and was curious if anybody in the group had any suggestions on how to build a habit of writing daily gratitudes down. So I thought this is a good opportunity to create a video in case anybody else can relate to struggling with building gratitude journaling as a habit, or kind of trying to decide if you even need to do that, if you think it'll be beneficial. So I'm sure some of you guys can relate to this. I fall victim to this too. I kind of get on the bandwagon of the wellness things I should do because they're so good for you. And sometimes I don't always get the result that I hope for because I'm doing something because I think I should versus really having a deeper purpose behind why I want to do it. So that's why step one, I think, is really determining your why. So why do you want a gratitude journal? Is there, an area of your life that you just feel frustrated with, negative about, and complaining, and you need to shift your mindset? You feel kind of overall that you have this kind of feeling of lack and you need to shift your mindset to abundance and feeling like you have enough? Do you think that practice will help kind of enrich your life and fulfill you a little bit more? I think once you figure out why you want to do it, it's a lot easier to commit to it. So I think step one is figure out why. If your answer is like, I want to do this because I feel like I should, because everyone talks about how transformative it is, I would pause there and be like, hold on, like, is this something I really need, or am I just kind of getting caught up in the hype of the next thing that's supposed to change my life? I think that's, again, red flag, stop, pause, figure out your why first. Because while gratitude journaling is great, I don't think it's going to change your life if it's something that's not intentionally done or necessarily necessary for you at this phase of your life or at all. So explore your why. Number two, I would say, is to keep it simple. So if you are new to gratitude journaling in general, kind of documenting things and your thoughts, I would start as simple as possible. So don't try to be in depth, don't try to go crazy with this. So an example of this would be, let's say you have a planner like an Inkwell Press, and there's these 3 little boxes at the bottom that you're like, I don't know what to do with anyways. This is a great way to start journaling and keeping it simple, gratitude journaling anyways. You could designate this whole section to gratitude, and throughout the day or at the end of the day, whenever, we'll talk about that more, is write a very simple gratitude. Since this space is really small, unless you have really small handwriting, you're not going to be able to write too much. So that forces you to keep it very simple. So let's say you could write, I'm grateful for today for a nourishing meal, a phone call with my mom, a, sunshiny day, and keeping it really, really simple. Just like anything, any goal, any new habit you're trying to build, the more, the simpler you can keep it, the more likely you will build it, and then you can kind of build momentum from there. The thing that people tend to do is go big too fast and try to do the most epic version of something, and then just get frustrated because they haven't built any momentum, haven't built the skills, the habit, anything like that. So number two is make sure you keep it simple. Number three, a good way to start this habit is to base the gratitudes on some kind of trigger or focus area. So what I mean here is, let's say you decided gratitude journal because maybe a certain area of your life you're feeling negative about, you find yourself complaining more than you'd like, you feel a feeling of lack in some area. You can start to build a habit more easily when there's something that triggers you to do the habit. So maybe it's complaining. Let's say you find yourself complaining, that your trigger is going to be a complaint. As soon as you hear yourself complain, that's a trigger to you to write down a gratitude. Let's say you're in the car and somebody cuts you off and you're like swearing up and down. That would be a great time to, obviously you're driving, do not write in your journal, but you can make a mental note or kind of like do a talk to text thing in your phone and say, I'm grateful for the opportunity to recognize that I need to rein in my temper, or I'm grateful that I, live in a world where I can get places as fast as I can and I need to be more patient. Whatever it is, if you can base the new habit, so the habit of gratitude journaling, on a trigger, It sometimes can help you kind of get in the habit and open yourself up to more ideas about what to gratitude journal about. So with having a trigger or a focus area, maybe there's an area of your life, like maybe it's your fitness goal and you're really frustrated with it and you're not having a lot of progress. So maybe your habit of gratitude journaling is totally based on that area of life. So that every day you're sitting down and thinking, okay, was I frustrated today about this? Or even if I wasn't frustrated, I was happy about this. Let me write something in this area that I'm struggling with let me write a gratitude about that area. So base it on some kind of trigger, whether it's complaint, frustration, something like that. Maybe it's just another habit you want to tie it to, or some kind of focus area. Number 4 is decide if you want to do this daily or weekly. Well, there's a million articles out there that say that you should do gratitude journaling daily and it's going to change your life. There's also a lot of articles out there and research that shows that just gratitude journaling in general, even if it's not consistently done every single day, is equally as effective. So I would say let off the pressure and just decide what's going to work for you, or just kind of go with the flow and see if you can do it. Some people need that habitual daily commitment to help them build a habit. Some people are like, you know what, I'm going to do it 2 days a week. I'm going to do it 3 days a week. So kind of decide what you're willing to commit to as far as frequency and go from there. So you kind of have a little bit of a plan. Make sure it's flexible so you're not like beating yourself up if you don't do it every single day. But same thing here, start small, less is more. So even starting with 1 day a week or once a week, gratitude journaling will help you. But just kind of have a plan versus going, well, I'm going to gratitude journal every day because I'm supposed to. It's going to backfire. So kind of get focused on, how often you want to do this. Number 5 is to go a little bit deeper. Now, while I said to keep it simple in the beginning, I think there is some value to, as you get better at this habit and more kind of accustomed to doing this and thinking in this way, you can go a little bit deeper. So instead of saying, I'm grateful for having food on the table, you could say, I'm grateful that I have the resources and the skills to purchase healthy food and create a meal that nourishes my family. The more you can kind of go deep into these seemingly small things, the deeper the gratitude will get integrated into you in that mindset. You could say, I'm grateful for, I'm trying to think of another one. I'm grateful for the opportunity to move my body. Let's say you're frustrated with your health and fitness success or progress, and you're having a hard time shifting your mindset around that. You could say things like, I'm grateful for the opportunity to practice patience as I learn how to treat my body, with respect. Or I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn how to move my body better so I can have more freedom in my life. So really starting to explore and expand upon these gratitudes will help you go deeper with the practice and really get more out of it. But again, make sure you've gone simple first before you go deeper. Okay, so if you're new to this, stay simple, keep it pretty, surface level, just get in the habit and then start to go a little bit deeper with it. Number 6 is use prompts. And I have a little fun challenge we're doing for this November with gratitude, but sometimes it's hard to think of stuff. And you're like sitting there, you're like, I know my life is, good, or I'm trying to shift my perspective, but what the heck do I write? So you can find a ton of stuff online with different gratitude journaling prompts, but we also have for the month of November, a 30-day Thankful 30 challenge where I'm going to give you prompts for all 30 days. So we'll talk about that more in a second. Number 7 is figuring out where you want to journal. This may seem pretty simple, but if you don't have this figured out, when it comes down to building the habit, you're not going to be able to put it into action without all these things figured out. So do you want to do it in your regular daily planner? Do you want to do it in a separate insert in your planner? Do you want to do this in your phone via an app or your notes section? Do you want to have just like it in your notebook? Do you have a journal you want to write these in? It's really important to figure out where you want to do this. So once you start it, you have, your how many times a week I'm going to do it and where I'm going to put these. So maybe you are using your regular daily planner, whatever format you're using, to jot down your gratitudes per day or per week, or how often you're doing it. Or maybe you have a separate insert, which we are launching some new versions of ours, which I'll show you here in a second, to have a separate place inside of your planner to do this. Or maybe you're a digital person and you want to really focus on being grateful throughout the day, and you have your phone on you all the time, so you can just jot this down in your phone, even if you later transfer to somewhere else, or maybe you have a gratitude journal, it's a separate notebook. Figure out where you want to do it. There's nothing magical about any of these formats. You just got to figure out what works for you. Number 8 is when. So not as far as frequency. So we talked about frequency. Are you going to do it daily? Are you going to do it weekly? But we need to figure out when. Are you someone that just wants to do this throughout the day? Maybe when you find yourself frustrated or complaining and you need that trigger to tell you to shift to gratitude? Or do you want to build it as a practice, as part of a routine? Do you want to do this as soon as you wake up? Or maybe you already do another habit in the morning you want to stack on top of this. Maybe you drink coffee at your kitchen table by yourself, and now you want to add on gratitude journaling. Or maybe at night you take a bath, or you are reading, and right before you go to bed you do your gratitude journaling. So you want to figure out if you want to stack this habit with another one. So again, it kind of triggers you to do it, or if you need to do it based on some trigger throughout the day. So when you kind of figure out what would work best for you, that's your initial plan. This can totally change. You may find after a week that you don't like writing gratitudes in the morning. Totally cool, shift it to the evening. But think about initially what would be what you think is your ideal routine and method of doing this, like when, and that will help you build the habit. Okay, so number 9 is start small. So we already talked about starting small when it comes to starting simple as far as the depth of it, and starting small as far as frequency. The other thing you could think about doing is literally writing one thing a day. The idea with habits is we have a tendency to go way too big with this stuff and try to have like the most epic habit like out of the gate. So I'm a huge proponent of less is more. So start small. Is it one a day? One gratitude a day? Is it one gratitude a week? Is it one word? So scale this down so small that it would be just as easy to do it as to not do it. And it's almost like, how could I not do this? Let's say your gratitude is, I'm going to write one word a day that indicates what I'm grateful for. Food, sunshine. It seems so silly and so stupid, but you have to build that momentum and you have to get the habit going. And then again, we can get deeper, we can get more frequency, we can get more depth, we can get clearer with these things and start expanding. But start as small as you can, unless you already have somewhat of a journaling habit going and you're just adding this element into it. But one a day, one line a day is a great place to start, and just go from there. Keep it super simple. And number 10 is give yourself some kind of time frame to commit to practice this and see how it works. 30 days is kind of what most people do when they're trying to build a new habit. As people think like you can build a new habit in 21 or 28 days or something like that, or break a habit in that amount of time. It's total BS. It takes way longer than 21, 28, or 30 days to truly build a habit. I find most people it takes typically 3 to 6 months to get something even close to automated. But that said, I'm not saying commit to doing this for 90 days or 6 months. Commit to 30 days. Play around with these different elements, why you're doing it, keeping it simple, how many times a week, what, form of media you need to do to track it, and, the routine around it, and just try for 30 days. After 30 days, figure out, did I get anything out of this? Do I need to tweak things to make this habit more effective, to get, be more consistent with it? But just commit to 30 days and see how it goes, and see if it is anything worth continuing for yourself. I would say to really make a strong determination, unless you kind of do it for 30 days consistent and you're like, this didn't do anything for me, I would say like 60 to 90 days will give you a better idea with any habit if it's going to kind of be beneficial to you. But that said, start with 30 days, go from there, and you can play around with what worked and what didn't work. So those are my 10 tips. Let me show you the tools that I have for you that could help, as well as our challenge. So we've always had our gratitude journal. We just revamped the sheet this year. So if you're somebody that likes to have a, is this in focus? There we go. Likes to have a separate page or section in your planner for gratitude journaling, we have 2 options for you. So we have the full sheet, and it says today I'm grateful for, and then you have a date in 3 spaces. I know this is a daily gratitude journal, but you could very easily not get hung up on this word and just write one a day and use this for 3 days. You could use it however you want to. I wouldn't, again, get hung up on the layout of it, especially when you're just starting this. You could keep this as simple as you want. And then on the back, what we did was just kind of left this blank note page for you to continue journaling, write about how your week went, just giving you some more space to write. If you're somebody that doesn't need a full page, you want to keep it simpler, or if you want to keep it, maybe you like to have your week laid out here open and you don't want this full page covering, the other option we came up with for you this year is the half sheet version. That way, again, if you're doing this based on a trigger and maybe you have your planner laid out for you on your desk, or it's somewhere where you can see it a lot and something happened, you're like totally complaining and you're like, oh, I'm grateful for this, and you're trying to flip that complaint into a gratitude, this will keep it right here at the front of your mind. Or maybe at the end or beginning of the day, you set out your plan or recap on your day, and this can be right here in your weekly spread or wherever you want to put it. Same thing on the back, you have this note page here again to continue journaling or expand on ideas or jot things down. So we have two different options size-wise for gratitude journals. If you are looking for a tool, if you don't want to write it in your planner or notebook or something that you already have. And then the last thing is, for this November, we are doing what I'm calling our hashtag Thankful30 Gratitude Challenge. So this is a 2-page free printable. Okay, so when you get the file, if you decide to download this, you can print it front and back or 2 pages. I hate writing on the back of paper, so I did mine where it's 2 front sides. But you have a space here for each day, and these will go 1, 2, 3. They'll go like this, left to right, down like you'd read a book. And each day's prompt is in the header. So you have home, friends, nature. So the prompt is just there to make you think, like, in relation to home, what is something today or in my life in general, in this past year, this month, that I could be grateful for? So each day's got a prompt just to make you think. Maybe on the day that it's the weather totally sucks. How can I find gratitude in a crappy weather day? So it just helps you kind of shift your mindset in different areas of your life to think about gratitude. So with this, if you're watching this video, November of 2019, this challenge is going on, and there will be a prize involved. That'll be over on our Instagram. Obviously, at the end of November 2019, the challenge will be over, but you can always use the free printable, if we still have it up on the site at the time you're watching this, just as a guide to help you get in the habit of building a gratitude journal. Okay, so this video is way longer than I thought it would be, but I hope that was helpful for you guys. Anybody that's trying to build a gratitude journal habit, again, don't stress about it. If this is not your jam and you keep trying to force it, I would either kind of change your approach or let it go. Maybe it's not for you, or maybe there's a different way you need to do this. Maybe it needs to be a more creative thing where you do more like a memory planner type of thing. Just be creative with it. And again, don't get attached to like, if you don't do gratitude journaling, you're missing out on this like epic transformative habit. Because I think while it can be great, there's a lot of hype on every single wellness thing there is out there, even something like gratitude journaling. So let me know your guys' thoughts. These are in the shop now, so if you want to pick up any of these, or if you want to download the free printable, all the links will be below in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video.